Hello, everybody. This presentation is called Taming the Wandering Mind with Mindful Meditation. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me to start. I developed the 3A coping framework, the components being acknowledge, assess, assist, to help people to cope through adversity and loss. And in my private practice, in using this coping framework, I help to empower people so that they can self-monitor with self-awareness. So the acknowledge, assess, assist, stated most simply, is acknowledge the situation that you're going through, like face the reality, assess the impact, and assist with strategies. And the assist component is really whatever is going to help. So when we talk about mind wandering and mindfulness, that's one of the assist coping strategies that I use in helping people. And with the wandering mind, that's something that for years I have been working with my clients on being aware of just what they are thinking. What is that voice saying? Could be the inner critic, could be, and it is often negative and has to be countered so that they don't get lost in what they're thinking, because it does drive behavior. So that is the work that I do related to mindfulness, especially the part about taming the wandering mind, which we all know is there, but in this presentation, I really want to go into more detail about the wandering mind. Now, the work that I have done with taming the wandering mind is work that comes from years of experience, extensive training in mindfulness, but recently I saw a video that is a section of the Coursera course, Science of Well-Being, which is being given by a Yale University instructor. And it's specifically on the wandering mind and meditation, which I found to be, for me, really validating of the work that I do with clients. So what is mind wandering? It's a shift in the content of thought away from an ongoing task and events in the external environment to self-generated thoughts. Now, in my work, I call it mind chatter. It goes by different, Buddhists call it the monkey brain. So now the research findings that came out of the course that the instructor was reporting was that 46.9, on average, 46.9% of our time is spent mind wandering, which means that we spend half our days not paying attention to what's happening in the here and now, which is quite a lot. And it would be beneficial to be able to tame that mind wandering, because that number is so high. The instructor also explored the brain's default network, which is quite fascinating, actually, where they scanned people who were mind wandering and found that there is a region in the brain called the brain default network that lights up specifically when we are not doing anything task oriented. And these areas of the brain also correspond with scans of people that lit up at the same time when people are either thinking about the past or thinking about the future. So if you're not in the present moment, if you're in the present moment, the brain default network is not going to light up, but thinking in the past, thinking in the future, which is often where the mind wandering goes, is to things in the past, regrets of the past, or worrying about the future. Another report of research findings that was shared by the instructor in the course was of a study and the results showing that the wandering mind is an unhappy mind. And in this research, the researchers used an app, an iPhone app, and they had about 2,250 participants who reported on different questions that were asked. One of the questions was, what are you doing? The other, whether they were thinking about their current activity. Another question, were they thinking about something else that was pleasant, neutral, or unpleasant? And the fourth question was, were they happy? And the results of asking, and this was over 2,000 people aged 80 to in their 80s, was that the wandering mind is an unhappy mind. So here's a quote from one of the researchers of this study. Mind wandering is an excellent predictor of people's happiness. In fact, how often our minds leave the present and where they tend to go is a better predictor of our happiness than the activities in which we are engaged. So what is the content of the wandering mind? So if we're going into kind of neutral mind wandering, there's planning and decision making. You have your to-do list. What's for dinner? What color should I paint the bedroom? And imagining, where do I want to go for a vacation after COVID? These are all things that you could get almost lost in thought about. And if you become if you are indecisive, that can really be problematic in your mind wandering because you're going over it and mulling over it again and again. There's also content of the inner critic, where you may be mulling over a recent interaction, and you actually would say to yourself, that was a foolish thing to say, or why did I say that? Another, you may be critical of your weight. That dress makes me look fat. Or just beating yourself up. Why did I say that? That's stupid, stupid, stupid. And these thoughts can creep in very quickly and be almost unconscious. Not all the completely conscious of, say a lot of it, unless you are really aware and consciously make an effort of really being aware of what your mind is saying, you could really be influenced by what you're telling yourself unconsciously. Then there's also rumination, worrying about your health, fear of the future, creating catastrophic what if scenarios. And many people, and especially now during COVID, and where if they're worrying more, if there's more fear, can have racing thoughts or disorganized thoughts that are all over the place. And it's so good. It is a positive to be aware of this content and aware of what you are thinking so that you can tame the wandering mind. Part of taming it is really being aware of it. So John Kabat-Zinn is the founder of mindfulness-based strategy. Most people don't realize that the mind constantly chatters, and yet that chatter winds up being the force that drives us much of the day in terms of what we do, what we react to, and how we feel. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness, a way that we can tame the wandering mind is through living mindfully and being in the present moment. John Kabat-Zinn, here's a quote on defining mindfulness: the awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally to the unfolding of experience moment to moment. And another part to mindfulness is allowing, just allowing things to be as they are. So to take pressure off of you and just allow. And this is not an easy feat to be in the present moment. So we really do have to do it consciously and make a concentrated effort to be in the present moment. And by taming the wandering mind, which is often dealing with the past or concerns about the future, taming the wandering mind is helpful in living mindfully. So an exercise of mindfulness is meditation. And another study showed that meditation experience is associated with differences in default mode network activity and connectivity. And so in this research, there was two groups. One of them were expert meditators, and the other group were meditators that they're meditation naive, and they did scans and showed that the people who meditate, their default mode network does not light up the way the participants that are not meditators, their default mode network lights up. And not only that, but people who are meditating, while they're meditating, other areas that are more helpful to them of the brain light up in the brain than the other group. So what is meditation? It's a conscious practice of turning your attention away from distracting thoughts towards a single point of reference. And as as was indicated in our talk today, where everybody was talking about different types of meditation, the different types may include breathing, a loving kindness. Loving kindness is where you will say statements in your meditation, showing compassion for yourself, showing compassion for others, and showing compassion for the community, such as, may I be happy, or may you be happy, may I be calm, may I be at peace, may I be safe. Then there's eating meditation, where you can even just sit and eat a meal where you're just focused on the meal, what it tastes like, how it feels, everything about eating. Walking meditation is focusing on the walk, maybe the surroundings, and a body scan is an effective um, uh, meditation of getting in tune with your body, the different sensations in your body. So those are just some types of meditation. And meditation in this study showed that after 8 weeks of people that went through every day practice of a loving kindness meditation, opposed to the control group who went through a nutritional treatment, that there are positive effects in emotion, in happiness, by meditating. So just to sum up, and then we'll conclude with a breathing meditation. I hope this presentation raised your awareness of your mind chatter, and maybe you will get in touch with exactly what is the content of your mind chatter, of your wandering mind, and how it can affect your happiness by taming it. And explored the remedy for taming your mind chatter by starting and or developing a practice of meditation. So I'd like to conclude this talk with a closely guided breathing meditation. I'm making it closely guided because people are of all different levels. So I'm going to start at a level that is easy to follow. And you will be able to practice noticing the mind chatter. So what I'm going to do is closely guide you through 2 counts of 5 breaths. So let's start by sitting in a comfortable position in a chair with your feet planted on the ground. Your eyes can be closed, or if you prefer, open your eyes, looking at down at a 45-degree angle, not looking at anything in particular. So I'm now going to start guiding you through the breaths. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. 1. Breathing in, breathing out. 2. Breathing in, breathing out. 3. Breathing in, breathing out. 4. Breathing in, breathing out. 5. And again, breathing in, breathing out. 1. Breathing in, breathing out. 2. Breathing in, breathing out. 3. Breathing in, breathing out. 4. Breathing in, breathing out. 5. For the remaining half a minute, continue the count on your own. Now we're going to bring you back to continue your day. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. If your eyes have been closed, you can open them. That concludes this closely guided breathing meditation and this presentation.